Coming up in the Bahamas tonight, industrial action brewing as the Trade Union Congress battle for resolutions to their outstanding issue.
Also ahead tonight, a murder case gets closer to resolution.
Up in the Bahamas tonight, steps are being taken to increase the use of a plea bargaining agreement in our court system. Stay tuned, we've got all the details.
Now, HD. ZNS Network presents The Bahamas Tonight. This portion of the news brought to you by BTC Every Day.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Keishla Adderley.
And I'm Andrew Knowles. Thanks for joining us on The Bahamas Tonight.
Topping the news this evening, elevating a threat he made months ago to imminent action. Trade Union Congress President Obie Ferguson said today he's ready to lead 15,000 workers into a unified strike in protest of what the union feels are unfavorable labor relations with employers and the government.
Our Charisma Robinson tells us tonight that the president put all workers in the country on notice today as members of his 26-body umbrella union met to discuss their strategy before taking industrial action.
Trade Union Congress President Obie Ferguson says he isn't bluffing this time. He says that industrial action is imminent.
We're going to do what we're going to do on our time, on our schedule, when we think it would have the most effect on what we are trying to achieve. We invite all workers of this country, all workers, whether you're in a union or not, we are asking you to heed our cry when we make the call.
He says minimum wage and employment status are the main issues of contention.
I'm in the courts every day, just about. Fighting for basic rights of Bahamian workers. Poor workers trying to get vacation pay. And we in the Bahamas sitting around, going to the House of Assembly just talking, and they ain't talking no issue pertaining to the working man.
Now the TUC, which represents over 26 unions under its umbrella, has about 15,000 members. The participation of non-unionized workers and NGOs are expected to intensify this action. Ramal Ferreira of Save the Bays sees the importance of this move.
The time has come for us to unite and act as one for the betterment of our country. This is our country. There's no other country in the world where we can go and expect to be prioritized but the Bahamas. So what we're saying, we only want what you give to your friends and family. That's what we want. A decent standard of living. The same concessions, meet with us with respect, honor your commitment.
TUC says, simply put, it's time to do what's in the best interest of the Bahamian people. Charisma Robinson, ZNS Network News.
Yesterday, the government signed off on a new 5-year industrial contract retroactive to 2013 with the Bahamas Public Services Union. Hazard pay was a particularly contentious issue during 6 months of negotiations. BPSU President John Pinder says coupled with risk allowance, it was something the union sought to bring closure to. During the last 3 weeks, employees of the Ministry of Works held demonstrations demanding hazard pay they claim has been outstanding since 2005. Pinder says when the industrial agreement was signed the first time, hazard pay was issued based on the amount of time employees had to put into an area, but that things this time are different.
We were able to get the government to agree to a fixed amount that person will receive attached to their pay package each month. So we thought that was certainly a step in the right direction to get that matter resolved. And so I'm sure those persons that receive hazard pay and risk allowance are very pleased to know that that would be dealt with monthly, and it's a fixed amount. Some were able to get some back pay. We're still working on the rest of the remaining persons being approved to get the hazard pay that they were deserving of in the former industrial agreement.
The latest labor statistics show only a slight decrease in unemployment numbers over last year, just under 1%. The national unemployment rate now stands at 14.3%, indicating a decline over the 15.4% recorded last November. The total labor force stands at 197,335 persons. According to the report issued today, both New Providence and Grand Bahama experienced decreases in their unemployment rates. In the case of New Providence, the rate now stands at 15%, and in Grand Bahama, 14.7%. Men continue to dominate the unemployed, and unemployment among youth, that is, the age bracket 15 through 24, continue to be the considerably higher group than any other. Discouraged workers in the country fell from 6,765 in November 2013 to 4,880 in May of this year. Minister of State for Finance Michael Halkitis says the survey paints a picture of gradual improvements in the labor market in line with the gradual strengthening of the Bahamian economy.
From the courts, the defense has closed its case in the manslaughter trial of Helicia Smith. Smith is accused of killing her boyfriend, Aldine Gibson Jr., back on May 3, 2012. After the defense case closed today, the court called Deshaun Fowler to the stand. He testified that he witnessed Gibson being stabbed following what he described as a scuffle between the deceased and the accused. However, after Fowler completed his testimony, both the prosecution and the defense challenged his testimony and the contents of his police statement, suggesting that he had lied on both occasions. The case is expected to go to the jury on Monday after both sides complete closing submissions and the judge sums up the case. Well, it's been on the books for quite some time, but plea bargaining is rarely utilized. And now collaboration between the Attorney General's office and 4 criminal justice experts from the National Center for State Courts in the United States looks to put the system to use and help chip away at the lingering case backlog. We get that story tonight from Janae Noel Ferguson.
There are 800 murder cases that have yet to be prosecuted.
William Webb, United States federal judge, a part of a team hoping to assist legal stakeholders in the Bahamas, says with more use of the plea bargaining agreement, that number stands to decrease significantly.
It frees up the courts and the judges to turn their attention to more serious cases. If you can move through the system some of the less serious cases, then you have the capacity to handle more of the more serious cases.
Program manager with the National Center for State Courts in the United States adds that the U.S. has done well with this deal with a 90% success rate for their criminal cases. She feels the Bahamas can do the same.
And so we're hoping today that we can send a positive message about plea bargaining, talk about ways to do it in an efficient and fair manner that respects the rights of victims as well as defendants.
Now, defense attorney like Calvin Seymour is already seeing positive results for the use of a plea bargaining agreement.
It does appear to do some speedy trials cases out of the system. I've had the experiences of using it to my advantage or the defense advantage so that he can know his faith at an early stage. We find that sometimes there are some difficulties, some feedback between us and AG's office, but again, they are things that can be worked out.
Meanwhile, consultant in the Attorney General's office, Cleopatra Christie, says this can be a beneficial tool, provided that all parties